and information aimed at improving their operation. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
You're finding Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. Good morning, Mr. Goebel. How you doing?
I am good, Seth. How you doing?
I am well. It's got to be a good day to be a Maroon. You've got girls basketball playing for a regional championship tomorrow, and the boys a win last night in Monticello. A couple successful programs going on there.
Absolutely. The girls basketball team, they're on a roll. They are just,
what is it, 24 now?
Oh, something like that.
We could have Ben walk in and tell us.
No, they're fun to watch.
Yeah,
and I think the chemistry between the girls it really makes the team. And I think the great coaching, and I just think that those girls have been playing together for so long. It's been great, and the boys as well. They gel well. So shout out to the players for the hard work. The coaching staffs on both programs, girls and boys.
Couple really good coaches there.
I just think and coaching makes a difference. You bring somebody in that the kids really want to win for, want to work hard for. They have that rapport with so hats off to Coach Williams and Coach Bankley.
Sure.
And even the supporting coaches. So
a couple good staffs around those two as well.
Yeah,
a lot of good guys.
So it's an exciting time for the district. And
very good. And I hope you don't mind me saying this on the radio, but I do see one Mr. Ben Goebel at the YMCA working out after school a lot of days. So I don't know if he does sports or anything, but he's getting after it in the weight room, man. I tell you.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, he is. He is. I had him in for CEO, and it's funny. I had him in for CEO, saw him at the gym the next, or maybe next day or two later, and he gave me this look like I know him from somewhere. And I was like, Ben, how you doing, man? And he was like, I know you from somewhere. I said, radio station. And he's like, that's right. So anyways, good kid. Good kid.
No, he's a good kid. I'm super proud of him. All my kids,
he's the last one at home, is he not?
No, I have a freshman.
Oh, okay.
So
That's right. That's right.
So, but they're growing, the freshman year, they're you're not quite hitting that point, and then they just shoot up. So but I'm proud of them. And it's always, sometimes it can be tough when your dad's in my position and you work for the school. It's always funny on nights that there might be a snow day. Kids are texting them, hey, are we going to have school? And they're like, I don't know. So
what do you know? Tell us what you know. Yeah.
So I'm super proud of them.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good kids.
For sure. Very good. Well, Mr. Goebel, let's dive into the hot topic of the district lately has been restructuring of Lincon Douglas schools and getting things set up to move into where you will have basically all grade levels in one building rather than splitting grade levels between the two. Remind us, first of all, what's this plan? What's at its core? What is this going to do?
And I'm glad you brought that subject up. So currently we have, and we've talked about this on the radio, and if you've been paying attention to the news, this should not be new information, but for over a decade, all of the preschool, kindergarten, and first grade students have been split up. Half the kids are at Lincon School over there behind Mach 1, and the other half of the kids are at Douglas School, kind of north of the YMCA. And as a result, we have one principal that literally bounces back and forth between those two schools and does not have an assistant principal. So if there is a need at Douglas, but the principal is at Lincon, that support is not in place. And I think a key part of my job as the superintendent is to make sure teachers and students are supported. And when you essentially have divided up your resources and split things up, I think it makes it extremely difficult. And several months ago, true story, when the school board approved this decision to combine the schools, that night, the previous principal I'm not going to say her name, but the previous principal of those schools texted me, "Thank you. I wanted to do that a long time ago." So this is not a new concept for Clinton. We've been discussing this for many years, and I chose as the superintendent to bite the bullet. It is hard, and I want to commend the staff at both schools for the amount of work and planning and just being good team players. Nobody really, I don't know anybody that likes to move houses. I'm not talking about schools, just like in general. I'm going to move my house from Clinton to somewhere else. You got to pack all your stuff up. You got to go to a new town. You got to unload everything. You got to make new friends. The whole concept of moving, I don't know too many people that just love that. And now, as we're moving schools, we know each other. Mrs. Patrick has done a good job for the building leadership team, having different committees that can have overlap. So it's not as if these teachers are strangers to each other, but they've never worked in the same building, had that other teacher right across the hallway from them. So that is going to be, that's going to be a change, but it is going to be a good change. Having the teachers together to help support each other, that is going to be a good change. The addition of an assistant principal is another staffing need. That's not a new request. That request to have an assistant principal has been asked for years and years. Now, I would not be in favor of just adding an assistant principal but not restructuring so the assistant principal can then bounce back and forth between the two schools. I don't think that's the best plan. But when we combine, and to be clear, the preschool will be at Douglas. So kindergarten and first grade will be at Lincon School. And that's where the principal will be at most of the time. And then the assistant principal will be at Lincon School most of the time.
Okay.
And we will also, in terms of like student needs, right now we have, we call it an SEL, an employee, social emotional learning, works with kids on social skills and just different things and emotional needs. That person right now bounces back and forth. So if a student shows up to school, maybe they've had a rough night the night before, or they just got a lot on their mind, and it just at that moment, learning their sight words or whatever the teacher's focusing on is not exactly what we need to focus on. Maybe it's behaviors that we need to focus on. We have this person that can pull that student out. There's a separate room, and there's other strategies that we're working with to help that student. Because if you're even adults, if you're upset or if you're frustrated about whatever it is, because life can be difficult, and if you're frustrated, it's probably not the best time to do your taxes. That's probably not the best time to work on whatever you're working on because you're upset. So that person right now, the SEL person right now bounces back and forth. So if there's that need at Lincon, but the person's at Douglas, that's several blocks away. And if a kid,
why not have all these positions like one for each building, like an SEL person for one building?
I suppose you could, but then you're if you have an SEL person here and an SEL person there, you could do that. But then you could have a principal here and a principal there. And again, you could do that, but there is space. But then if you are still, if you're still separating everybody, let's just, let's say an amazing teacher is at Lincon School, but we have a brand new teacher, brand new right out of ISU is at Douglas School. They're separated. So the outstanding shining star of a teacher is literally on the other side of town. But having that shining star teacher in the same building with that brand new teacher can help support them. Again, we have separated we've divided ourselves in terms of resources and supports. So when we combine these two schools, we can help each other out.
Yeah. What is the status of this change? I mean, do you feel like you're in a place where you're going to be on time with the change at the start of the new year?
I commend the teachers for the amount of hard work they've done. We have a committee that meets once a month to hammer out everything from now we're into the stages of moving, how that's going to look, how we're going to box things up. the library in Lincon School. We are having to do a renovation of the library to make better use of the space. There's different little changes that we've had to do to make that adjustment. Nothing out of this world, nothing astronomical. But
will there have to be cosmetic changes and things like that?
you know, we are putting a wall in the library to create another room, and so and it's I'm trying to think of like the percentage. So it's not like a right down the middle. We're shaving off a small portion. But I'll say this: our librarian Carrie Ray Kaczynski, she's been working her tail off and been an excellent team player in redesigning and in helping with that renovation. We've been fortunate. Even our maintenance crew, Ryan Black and Jeff Harold, they are able to do a lot of that renovations in-house. We don't have to hire a contractor to come in. These guys can do plumbing, electrical, drywall. I mean, you name it. Those guys, they're like Tim the Tool Man. I mean, they are amazing. But you know, besides that, I look forward to even, you know, having an assistant principal there. We'll have 2 administrators in the building because let's just say the principal is at a conference. We will still have an administrator to help out if there's a situation. Currently, that does not exist. So I am very proud of the teachers for the amount of work they've done to make this happen. It was not easy, even controversial at times, but we pulled together. The committee that I'm part of, that I sit on that committee, I think we are making excellent gains. I think the positivity that I'm feeling, and maybe I'm living in some fantasy world, but I think the positivity even within that committee is teamwork. And again, that committee obviously is made up of teachers on both schools.
Seems like the community's behind it.
Yeah, you know, so I just think it's a good change for Clinton, and I'm very proud of it.
Very good. We'll wrap that up there, Mr. Goebel. Take a break. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, my guest in studio this morning. More to come with Mr. Goebel on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn starting the day steady, beans higher, and Chicago wheat higher. March corn opening 4.26 3/4, up half a penny. May corn up half a penny, 4.36 1/4. New crop December 4.59 1/4, down 3/4. March beans starting the day 11.38, up 4. May beans up 4.5, 11.53 1/4. And new crop November 11.20 3/4, up 3 1/4. March Chicago wheat 5.43 1/2, up 5 3/4. May wheat up 4 3/4, 5.47 1/4. July wheat 5.55 1/4, up 4. March KC wheat 5.45 1/4, up 6 1/2. March bean meal 304.50, that's down $1.30. And March bean oil up $1.26, 58.55. Opening numbers on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the efficient Trax. We also have a good selection of our 7-passenger Chevrolet Traverse and Tahoes. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. See our winter celebration savings at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So that's August the 1st. Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group. And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. And Mr. Goebel, let's follow up a brief Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting. And let's start with the district calendar. Let's go there first. District calendar, is this for 20...
Next year.
Next year. Okay. So what do we know about next year's calendar?
I tell you what, I just, again, the way the calendar is created, we have a district leadership team. And several months ago, I sent out kind of I used Excel to do it, but a method for teachers to gather their input on what kind of calendar would we like to have. And historically, our Christmas break has not changed. Our spring break has not changed. Thanksgiving, those different things. There's going to be different holidays like Election Day, but then there's holidays like Labor Day that are not going to change. So I sent that out to the district leadership team, and then they hash it out, and then they come back and we all meet and we kind of put together our proposals on what we think is what people want. I've obviously I'm good with anything. Honestly, I work 12 months out of the year. When people want to have their spring break, I'm pretty flexible on that. So when we did that, it's, the Christmas break's going to stay where it's at. I think our spring break did change. We typically have our spring break in the very last full week of March. Next year, the spring break will be the very last 3 days of March, and then a couple days into April.
Okay.
Again, it's still about the same time. The start of the school year next year, this is something that I think is a great thing we are going to do. Typically, we have a school, like a workshop day for teachers, the very first Monday and Tuesday, and then kids come on that Wednesday. Next year, we will have those workshop days on Thursday and Friday, then have the weekend, and then the very first day for kids will be that Monday, and that'll be the 17th. So, and why that was proposed, and I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. Let's say I just was talking about restructuring in the last segment. So there's going to be a lot, your new classroom, a lot of things going on. So now you come in on those very first 2 days of school, Thursday, Friday, and then you get the weekend. So if a teacher wants to, maybe they didn't get everything they wanted to get accomplished in those 2 days. Now they have the weekend to come in if they choose to.
Gotcha.
To do that.
Sure.
The previous method, and what Clinton's obviously, but what we've done for many, many years, we've had those Monday, Tuesday, and then kids. So if you didn't get everything wrapped up that you wanted to in those 2 days, kids are showing up that very next day. So that's something that it's a minor change, but I think a change that makes sense. This year we just did a 4-day weekend. We tacked on an extra day with President's Day, and we were able to do a 4-day weekend. We won't be able to do that next year because it's an election year. So we won't. So we will still get a day off of school for the election day, but we won't be able to tack that on to the President's Day weekend. And essentially create a 4-day weekend, which is what we did this year. But when we don't have an election year, as long as teachers want to do it, again, I'm fine with it. We would probably have another 4-day weekend as long as it's not an election year. So
sure.
It's little things like that. But
a question for you, if you don't mind. I've talked to some of your peers around the area. Some of them set their school calendars 2, even 3 years out. Your thoughts on that, and would that be something that could work for Clinton?
I don't know.
Just because something works for somewhere else doesn't mean it has to work for Clinton.
Again, it would make things easier for me if we just said this is what we're going to do for 3 years. But then the calendar does not. It's not an added stress to me. It's not something that I lose any sleep over. I like to be able to give input. I like to have people give me input. And I think that's what happened this year, and what we've done other years is find out what people are wanting. So my guess, this calendar that we just put together maybe it's going to be like this the next couple of years.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I was just curious. Like I said, I've heard from a few of your peers that they do 2-3 years out, and I just was curious if that would be something that
honestly, if that's something that the district leadership team wanted to do, I'd be okay with it.
Gotcha.
If they wouldn't, I'd be okay with that too.
Very good. Let's wrap up, Mr. Goebel. Tell me about Press Plus issue 120. What is this? Is this anything the public needs to be privy with?
It's really nothing. So Press Plus, there are so many new legal updates for schools. Actually, I was at a conference a couple years ago, and the presenter put up the law book for school, and it was one book, and it was half an inch thick, and it was in 2015 or something. And then the presenter said, and now in 2024, this is the new legal update, and it was 2 books and over an inch thick, and these are the just like in laws. And
I'm sure you looked so forward to reading that, didn't you?
Well, you bring a great point up. So our attorney and several different attorneys, they sit and they contribute and help out to Press Plus. The Illinois Principals Association, the IPA, they have representation. The IESA, the superintendent, all these different organizations, they partner with Press Plus to make sure that the schools are in compliance, our school board policies line up, and every so often they do an update. In this particular update, we're up to 120. And that's not in just this year. Last year we had a couple different updates. So you might have one Press Plus update in the whole year. This one talks about in 2031, they're going to be seatbelts on buses. Okay,
sure. Stuff like that. Gotcha.
It's nothing major.
Very good. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Network news on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, along with 92.3 FM Clinton and 106.5 FM Bloomington Normal.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall.